play. All right.
We're doing this thing.
All right. We're closing the business minutes on the Haunt business meeting. Slam my gavel down. Now we're moving on.
Please.
Welcome back.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Amy.
And we are
on the Haunt. I didn't look at you that time.
I know, but I still did a neck thing.
I'm pretty sure I did something.
Oh, my Lord.
Hey.
What's up?
Not much. It's been a minute.
We had a snowstorm.
We did. We had a massive snowstorm.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the re-release of Baba Wawa.
Yes. An oldie but a goodie.
I'm the one that edited that one. And, I didn't actually edit it. I just sent Chris the edit.
Yes, we sent Chris notes.
Please,
we literally type in our Apple Notes and just send them to Chris.
Yes, Chris.
Work your magic.
Chris, here's the stupid stuff I said. Could you please do something with it?
The last one I sent, I'm like, you're going to have to do a sound effect here. Because I
love the sound effects.
No way. There's a way he can seamlessly take out.
Honk.
Yes, please. Let it always be a trumpet or a horn.
Yes.
That is it. No beep. None of that beeping junk.
We want funny things. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You're so funny, though, in that episode, you open it and you're like, live from the prayer closet Saturday night. And then you go on to tell us that you stole that from SNL. And we're all like, yeah, we know. It was great.
I mean, there may be some people out there that haven't watched SNL.
That is true. That's true.
Pete Davidson, what's going on with your bedroom? Like, it's sloppier than my children's.
You look like my dorm room.
Yes.
And then he has his Kim prayer candle.
Yes. And what would you see, like, his pink velour comforter? What was happening there?
Is that really where he lives?
I think so.
Maybe. Man,
he said he's moving. That was his excuse. So I'm in the process of moving.
His SNL salary is, like, not great. Apparently.
Well, he just recently moved out of his mom's basement, right?
He's the
But
best.
I think maybe he paid for his mom's house.
I mean, maybe. But then he gets the basement. It's so great. That's my kind of celebrity, though. I mean, he's really in touch with the real people.
He is.
That bedroom was a mess.
Don't let the Kardashians, jade you.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine he leaves that bedroom and then goes to Kim's house? It's like
I still think it's all
white.
for Skims. I think, yeah.
For Skims.
But no one told Kanye.
Oh,
so he's really getting into it. And now he's going after Billie Eilish. She didn't even do anything.
He needs help.
He's like, I will not perform with you at Coachella until you apologize to Travis Scott. She's like, I literally didn't say anything.
Can you imagine being her?
No, she stopped her concert. So, like, one of her
I missed all of this.
Like, one of her concert people needed, like, their asthma inhaler or something. So she, like, stopped her concert for them to, and she's like, just so you guys know, I stop when someone needs something. And so Kanye took that as a...
Why is he backing up Travis Scott? You're not in that family anymore,
I don't
Kanye.
know.
You
it's
out.
So weird. Okay, people, not what you're here for. Sorry, but
God.
This is Whitney and Mike's catching up, too.
Yes.
We only see each other when we come to record. Mm-hmm. We need to change that because we're talking about getting a TikTok.
We almost said ticker talker because we're 100.
Ricky Tiki Tave.
Earlier I said TikToker.
Hickory dickory docker. So we're thinking about doing that, but we have to, we're going to try to make a video.
We are.
After we record this episode and then take it to my house and have my daughter.
Well, I mean, I could also send it to her.
Talk it. What do you call that? It's not tweeting. You're
editing it?
Talking?
I
don't know.
I've never...
But anyways,
I only watch TikTok
people.
videos on Instagram, so...
Yes. I don't even have a TikTok.
I don't either. On the Haunt does. Follow it. It's at On the Haunt Podcast on TikTok.
Maybe we'll get something up there. You never know.
But our TikTok videos will also be on Instagram. So just...
Yes, and Facebook.
The moral of this is
we
follow
love
our
you all.
socials.
We get it. Each generation has their own social media platform they prefer.
Yeah, it's really hard for us in-betweeners.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm not an in-betweener. I'm a Gen Xer, so I'm a Facebook.
I'm definitely I'm an elder millennial. I don't know where I fit.
I don't either.
We're just the people in the middle. Like, where do we go?
Well, and I use Facebook is where I find out how
Local
crazy
gossip.
the people are I went to high school with. And then Instagram is where I get like all my celebrity info. And then Twitter is legit where I get my news.
Yeah.
That is because
You need
now,
to get some Google News in your life.
fun fact, my daughter, like we went prom dress shopping. I think that was all happening at when we recorded last.
Yeah, it
And
was.
that was an epic fail. We found nothing. Everything looked very Jean Bonnet in all the stores. So she found something on Etsy and ordered it, which I
Etsy is
realize is a
so-
huge risk. But like they wanted her exact measurements. The lady was getting
That's
back with
great.
me right away. She seemed very professional.
In English.
And she follows me on Instagram now and likes my posts. So I'm
Oh,
like,
how cute.
but anywho, it's coming from the Ukraine.
Well, that just goes to show you that
so
even in
there's
the
a lot
Ukraine,
going on.
every other
Yeah.
country speaks English along with their
100%.
native language.
Yes, her name is Marguerite.
Except for us.
Yes.
We suck.
But now I'm a little worried because Vladimir Putin might be, and again, not making light of it.
No.
Stop bombing people. That's never the answer.
No.
But I'm like, Keaton, you realize I might have to submit a claim to PayPal that your dress was shot out of the sky. I don't know how that
Poor
works.
Marguerite.
I know.
Is she okay?
And it's like, but it's too much money to not submit a, like it wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a custom made dress.
That's
like,
amazing. God, I love Etsy so much. I've been going on a pin buying spree, Amy. Look at all my pins. I have Elaine from Seinfeld dancing.
Love it. I almost ordered a poster of that.
It's one of my favorite things of all time. And I just finished Veep, which also, it's so funny. You gotta watch it.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
I mean, it's just great. My She Doesn't Even Go Here
Yes.
pin. And then, just funny. Do you know this pin? Do you recognize it's from Buffy? It's the Etch-a-Sketch Buffy Will Patrol
Okay.
Tonight.
Yes.
This came from England. And then I got a Taylor Swift
I know.
one.
I love when stuff and PayPal pays in euros for me. I feel so sophisticated when that happens.
And when it comes in, and you're like, this is international.
Yeah.
Look at these stamps. I don't understand them.
no, and my international things arrive quicker than the stuff
I
that's
know.
being shipped from Iowa. I don't understand.
Because they...
U.S. Postal Service.
What's up?
Well, our previous president took all the mailboxes. Shame for shame.
What?
Remember when he took all the mailboxes?
Took actual mailboxes?
Like the big, like that you mail, at the post office.
I almost said brown. Blue ones.
Yeah.
He took them?
I don't.
Why?
I don't.
What did he do with them? What a loser.
He just ordered the postmaster general.
What a loser!
Whatever. I'm just like, I can't even.
Yeah. Anywho,
Okay.
you're going first.
Okay.
Oh wait,
belching.
Oh, I'm reading a book right now.
yeah.
I wanted to mention. I just finished it. If you're really into, so I love thrillers and mysteries and horror. That's really my jam. And my thrillers are usually just like this, husband and wife, and the husband maybe murdered the wife, and that's just kind of the gist of it. It's not too gory. Well, I read this book called False Witness by Karen Slaughter, and oh my god, it was gritty, and it has sexual abuse, drug abuse, just it was real life though, as I'm reading it, I'm like,
Real life is more terrifying.
I know. I was like, I know people like this.
Yes.
It was really, really good though. Basically about these two sisters who have to commit a crime to save each other, and then later on in life, that crime kind of comes back to haunt them a little bit. And one of them goes this one way and becomes very successful. One of them goes another way and unfortunately falls into addiction, and it's great. So, False Witness by Karen Slaughter.
I just read, it's kind of funny, my friend Jason, like you, is a member of the St. Charles County Library. However, he actually lives in St. Charles, so he gets books.
Well, I mean, I could, but it's just really far.
So last week, the day before the giant snowstorm, we had a pretty good idea there was a snowstorm coming in. He's like, I'm halfway through this. It's not really me. He goes, but I think it's you. So he gave me, it was called Road of Bones.
Road of Bones.
I don't remember who it was written by.
Okay.
But it's this documentary filmmaker and his cameraman. They go to the coldest part of Siberia.
Okay.
So he's wanting to make a documentary about how people live and survive in this area.
Oh,
but
wow.
So as they're it's so intense. I can't even imagine being someplace this cold.
No.
First of all, because
No.
it's you can't even turn your vehicle off because the fuel lines will instantly freeze. It's that cold. But they're traveling. It's called it's a real road.
Transatlantic.
The Kali, not Calamari.
The calamari.
Kalimura Highway. Anyways,
idea.
it's nicknamed the Road
Yeah.
of Bones because back in the day, there were all these like prisoner of war camps along there, and they made the prisoners build the road.
Oh my God.
So when winter would come, they would literally just freeze to death right there, and it gets so cold so fast the layer of permafrost would go over and just freeze them into place. And so then they would just keep building the road right over them. So you're literally driving over...
Why?
Like millions, maybe millions, or a million or something.
Does there need to be a road there? Could they just have not built the road? Who wants to
people
live there? Move away!
Yeah, I agree. But there are people... And that was kind of like their thing. Like, that was why they were making the documentary. Why do people...
Yeah, why?
But people were like, well, this is the only life we knew. I mean, it's a fiction book, by the way, but that's
sure they're real
But anyways,
people.
they get there and like this whole, they have like this interpreter going with them. They pick him up along the way, and then they pick up this lady whose car breaks down and takes her. So they get to his village and everyone's gone.
Ooh.
And so then there's like possession.
Yes.
There's the
possession.
Scary ass cryptid. Like the scariest cryptid. I'm like, man, is this something they actually believe in Russia? Because I am
Is it
never...
Bigfoot-ish?
No.
Okay.
I will take Bigfoot any day
Okay.
over this thing. This thing is
That sounds
terrible.
great. I'm going to add it to my...
But it's really, it's a really scary cryptid, but then you kind of learn it's actually trying to do good, even though it's just like killing innocent people. But its ultimate goal is
Your
to do
methods
something
are
good.
a little
Yes.
questionable.
So thanks, Jason. If I don't think he listens, but he follows our socials, so maybe if he's ever
Talking
bored,
to people,
I know.
to our friends who don't listen to
Well, I
this
know, like in the
podcast.
summertime, he works for the park department, so maybe he'll get around to listening to this. next
Jason, what do you
summer.
do on the weekends? You can't.
He has children.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, we are
He's
losing.
doing Saturday school today. Like,
We're losers.
okay, anyway, so I'm sweating. I'm drinking coffee. Okay.
She's
so,
shimmying at me.
The funny thing about this story is it was totally inspired by a doc. Oh, I've got Discovery Plus per your rec,
Yeah, you
and
should.
then watched Relentless, and I'm just like, you people are.
Have you listened to TCO's coverage
Well,
of
the
it?
funny thing, yes, that's why I have
freaking
been
hate it
listening to
so
it, and you're
bad.
like, you need to watch it. I'm like, well, I'm listening to it on TCO, and you're like, no, you need to watch
You
it.
do.
So then when I'm on like the last episode and a half, Jamie comes and jumps in. He's like, I know that one. And I'm like, oh god. So
He knows the people?
the like police officer that was like fired or demoted or whatever. Like he's like, that's so and so's wife, and I'm like, oh god.
The chief? Whatever?
Yeah, the lady.
What?
Yeah. So
I
anyways,
just put Aquifer on my hands and it's like so gross now.
I have a point.
Okay.
So this is a documentary on Discovery Plus. I thought
Okay.
it's this true story of Scream. Because I just went and saw the new... So I'm like, okay, well, what's this about? And so it's
Yeah.
about this serial killer, the Gainesville Ripper. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to
right.
let me look up the Gainesville Ripper and see if this is interesting. And by look up, I'm like, well, he's on Wikipedia. So it must be interesting.
That's where we look up.
So
It's a pedia.
So let's go with it.
It's an encyclopedia.
And then I was like... yesterday I'm like, I still haven't watched the documentary. So I found like an interview someone did with the guy that did the documentary. I'm like, well, here's like this.
close enough.
So then at 5:00 this morning, I'm like, well, I'm going to sit down and watch this hour and
Was
a
it
half
good?
long documentary. No.
Oh, okay.
But whatever.
Did you hate, sorry, back to Relentless. Did you hate
Everything about it.
Fontana?
Yeah.
She was so,
Yeah.
You had the,
As Patrick on TCO said, it wasn't a documentary about finding a missing girl. It was about a documentary filmmaker spiraling into madness.
yes, it really is.
Under the premise
Yes.
of looking for this missing
I
girl.
think the thing that was really captured for me though in that documentary was just like that hopeless feeling though that some of these small towns and just some people that are really struggling in them like again it's like I know people like that.
Yes.
Like that family. You
But
know?
I don't believe that Hannibal is a hub for the mob or what. Like they were making it. I'm like
the
listen,
Rom to chill.
Yeah, the asphalt is.
I was like never
I go
heard
to Hannibal.
I've never
all the
heard that in
time.
my life.
Me neither. Although I will say I've started Jonathan Van Ness. I'm obsessed with him.
I don't know who that is.
He's on Queer Eye.
I need to
The
watch
long
the
hair.
new.
Oh, Queer Eye, so good.
I know who you're talking about though.
Okay.
Now that you say when you
Well,
say
he-
long hair, I know.
Yes, he now has his own Netflix show too called I think it's called Getting Curious,
Okay.
where he just like he does an episode on bugs and learns, which is so funny. Him having bugs on him, but he does an episode on, like, he's just like, okay, these are things, that we need to know more about.
Yeah.
So each episode is a topic, and he did an episode on, like, gender and non-binary. And he talks about, he's from Quincy.
Shut up.
No, for real. I didn't know that until my friend Jason's from Quincy, and he told me, and then...
Jason, you just talked about?
Uh-huh.
Who doesn't listen?
Yeah, who doesn't listen.
Damn it, Jason.
Quincy,
what a place.
He told me, and then on one of the seasons of Queer Eye, they actually went to Quincy and, like, gave his music teacher a makeover, so it was really cute. But anyways, he talks about when he was 16, he really, he's non-binary.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to, like, wear a dress and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, but I didn't really want to do it in Quincy because enough people know me. He goes, so I went to a town nearby, Hannibal. He was only 16. He's like, and these grown men were like chasing me down the street, screaming at me and threatening
Welcome to
me.
the Midwest.
And I'm like, that is so sad.
I mean,
I'm like,
what?
JVN, if I had been there,
And
I would have beat those men up for you.
yes, and
I
old
love
men,
you.
get a life.
Yeah.
What? Mind your own
No,
business.
what does anyone...
Because it's
wardrobe have to
because
do
it's-
with your life?
because it's people who are grappling
Yes.
internally with their own sexuality or
100%.
maybe their space where they fall in the gender spectrum.
Yeah.
They're dealing with their own shiz.
They are, but
Yep.
still.
And they're taking it out on
Yeah.
other people. It's so gross.
But it's just
Deal with your own life.
for real. Okay, so this has nothing to do with Hannibal or
I
anything.
feel the
but
need to
anyways,
wash
it's a
my hands
documentary.
really badly. So, I sprayed hand sanitizer and then they're
on top of the Aquaphor.
yeah, they're
Just-
so.
she's
I'm gonna have to
created
touch my
a
phone.
science experiment.
I have to touch my phone soon.
Okay.
Ew.
So here we go. First, I'm going to give you like the whole backstory of like the Gainesville Ripper, and then I'll go into so this kind of combines our two favorite things: true crime.
One of
and
my stories does the
paranormal.
same.
Okay. So his name was Daniel Harold
Harriet. What a name.
Harold Rawling, and he
Where's
was
Gainesville?
Florida.
Oh, okay.
Hang on. Oh, he murdered 5 students in Gainesville, Florida over 4 days in 1990, but he also later confessed to raping several of his victims and committing a triple homicide in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Ugh, Harold, or what's
So,
his name?
yeah, Daniel.
Daniel. Ew.
And they kept, like in the documentary, they call him Danny. I'm like,
Ew,
whatever.
no.
So, he was born in Shreveport, Louisiana. His father was a Shreveport police officer named James Rawling, who told Danny he was unwanted from birth. He also, this is from,
That's
all
how
from
you make a serial
This is from
killer.
Wikipedia, by the way. He abused and beat Danny, Danny's mother Claudia, and his brother Kevin for frivolous things. So he had a lot of abuse. Okay, that's terrible. Wah wah. But you still can't become a serial killer. You can't. And that's not even his reasoning. His reasoning is paranormal, which is even more.
I'm sorry.
Stupid. No, own your crap. You know what I mean? Be like, I did it.
And
You
also
know?
be a better parent, too. I
Yeah.
mean, God, both things. It's like, can you imagine telling your kid that you didn't want them? Like, what's wrong with
his dad
you?
seemed like a real piece of work, too.
Ugh.
And he was in law enforcement. So great. So it said, in one incident, Danny's mother went to the hospital after claiming her husband tried to make her cut herself with a razor blade.
What in the world?
She multiple times tried to leave her husband, but she always returned because it was one of those things like she had no way of supporting her family. She was so used to being belittled and believed that she needed this man that it was kind of like, well,
What is he supposed to do? Call the cops? They're his co-workers.
yeah.
You know? I mean,
there's-
you'd hope that
yeah.
they'd...
He would like hold Danny down, handcuff him because he was a cop, and like beat him while he was handcuffed. It says at one point, he would beat Danny's dog to the point where the dog ended up dying in Danny's arms.
Oh,
And so as a teenager, Danny started, and it was so funny because in the documentary, it's not funny, but in the documentary, they would go back and they like would show old news clips of like after he was caught, and then they're like interviewing the neighbors and stuff, you know. So this
yeah.
is from like the 90s, this news footage,
Awesome.
and they're like, yeah, it was a little strange. You know, he was like 30-some years old, but always wanted to like hang out with the kids. He just had like a kid mentality. So when he was a
Emotionally
teenager,
stunted.
he was arrested several times for robberies. And in Georgia, he was caught spying on a woman getting dressed. So he was a peeping Tom. As
It's a
an
recipe for disaster.
it really is. So as an adult, he had trouble trying to assimilate into society and hold it down a steady job. He worked as a waiter at Poncho's.
Whatever that is. That's a
in
piece of
Shreveport.
clothing. That's not. Why would that be the name of your restaurant? You have to wear a poncho to
I
go
don't
inside.
know. And it's like,
It's like seafood.
if it's a Mexican restaurant, like name it like after the owner or something. You don't have to pick like an article of clothing. Welcome to Sombreros.
At least that
No.
makes more sense to
does.
me, you know?
Yeah.
You could put some
Whatever.
guacamole
I
around
like
the
a good
exterior.
poncho though, man.
I know, but what a strange... I immediately go to rain poncho.
Our like beautiful photo that we had posted of us, I'm wearing
You
the
are wearing
poncho.
I'm holding a Mountain Dew can. It looks like I'm holding a beer, though, but it's just a Diet Dew.
So anyways, yeah, well, at one point him and his dad got in a fight.
God,
and
my
then
hands are like...
on the documentary, this woman is like, who is his ex-fiance? She didn't like meet him until he was in prison though. They like co-authored a
Gross.
book.
Please don't marry people...
Gross. I don't think they ever got married though. I think maybe they were just fiancés. I don't know.
Don't marry people who are convicted
But she was telling about this incident where like his dad shot at him 6 times but missed all 6 times.
Wow.
So he went out and got a gun outside in the shed or something.
Daniel
Danny
did?
did. And then he like shot his dad in the stomach and right between the eyes.
Oh my...
Or like in the eye.
Killed him?
No, he didn't die.
What? How do you not die?
So his dad lost an eye and an ear during that argument. Which, whatever, sounds like he had it coming. But again...
Family.
So in August of 1990, Rawling murdered 5 students, 1 student from Santa Fe College and 4 from the University of Florida during a burglary and robbery spree in Gainesville. He mutilated the victims of his body, decapitating one. Then he posed them, sometimes using mirrors.
Oh,
Gross.
what?
So in the early morning hours of Friday, August 24th. Friday. Little Kiki Love Friday. He broke into an apartment shared by 17-year-old university freshman Sonia Larson and Christina Powell.
Is that the same university that Ted Bundy went to? I feel like it is.
It could be.
University of Florida.
Probably. Sounds about right.
Yikes.
He found Powell asleep on the downstairs couch, stood over her briefly but did not wake her, choosing instead to explore the upstairs bedroom where Larson was also asleep.
Nightmares.
Rawling murdered Larson, first taping her mouth shut to stifle her screams, then stabbing her to death. She died while trying to fend him off.
Was he wearing a costume?
In everything I saw, he was wearing a ski mask.
Okay.
Because remember, the movie Scream was inspired by
Right.
this guy.
That's why I wondered if he was wearing
because
some
he was
sort
always
of a
like
costume.
lurking and peeking in windows and watching and wearing a
Ugh.
mask and
Who made that Scream mask? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
is it based off of that
Oh, maybe.
painting?
Isn't that called Scream?
I think so. Because
maybe
it's similar.
not. I don't
It
know what
feels.
that's
No, I'm pretty sure it is. I think you're right. It feels similar to that. I wonder if that's like the inspiration behind the mask.
Probably.
but-
Yeah. Because that's more cinematic than a actual ski
Yeah.
mask. So then he went downstairs and where Powell was sleeping on the couch and taped her mouth shut, bound her wrists together behind her back, and threatened her with a knife as he cut her clothes off.
Oh my god.
He then sexually assaulted her, forced her face down on the floor, stabbed her 5 times in the back, and he posed the bodies in sexually provocative positions. And then he took a shower before he left their apartment. So,
Just
I
the
mean, this
comfort
guy is
level.
like, and I don't even know how many details to give here. Like, we're not a true crime documentary, but I just want people to
We are
understand.
not a true crime documentary.
Or podcast. I don't even know what we are, okay? We are now documentary filmmakers.
We are Christina Fontana.
No, I will not commit 11 years of my life to one topic. Sorry. So then a day later, he broke into an apartment of 18-year-old Christina Hoyt. And here's my thing. He's not just randomly breaking into apartments. These are all teenage girls. You know what I mean? So don't act like, oh, I was just a robber. And look who happens to be living here.
No.
So he pried open the sliding glass door with a crowbar knife.
Whatever that is.
Is it like a crowbar knife?
No clue.
And a screwdriver. Finding she was not home, he waited in the living room for her to return. Ew. At 11 a.m., Hoyt entered the apartment and Rawlings surprised her from behind, placing her in a chokehold. After she'd been subdued, he taped her mouth shut, bound her wrists, led her to the bedroom, did all the similar stuff, forced her face down and stabbed her.
Oh my god.
After arriving back at his campsite, he couldn't find his wallet. So that's a thing about him too. I don't know if they talk about that here on Wikipedia or not, but he would set up campsites in the woods, and that's how he would watch his victims.
Ew.
So he would set up campsites in like random locations and see them like walking and going, like to the gas station or going to their apartments.
He has like a tent and a campfire.
He does, yes.
What?
Yes, or in the reenactment in the documentary, he was
sing?
playing the guitar and singing around the campfire by himself.
What?
Yeah, so...
But then does he have to travel from the campsite to the person's house, or can he see their house from the site?
I think he moved his campsite around.
So, I mean, I'm sorry. You're just at home, and then you look outside, and there's a fire and a guy with a guitar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he was a little further back in the woods. Like, he wasn't watching them from his tent. He has tent and
he
stuff.
had to
and then
leave
he would
his tent.
walk closer to...
I'm imagining he's just in his tent like, hey.
Yeah, or maybe he was. He was a total creep. I don't know. Yes.
You're like, I can see you.
Yeah. Quit playing your guitar by yourself, loser. I don't care. I'll say this. He was a terrible human being. I'll call him whatever names I want.
For sure.
So he gets back to his campsite and he doesn't have his wallet. So he's like, crap.
Why would you take your wallet to your murder spree?
So he went back to the murder scene and decapitated her body and posed her head on a shelf facing the corpse.
What in the world?
Yeah, so he's just
truly demented.
Such trash. So he's a garbage human being.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He has he's just not a human anymore. He is gone.
No. So obviously his murders attracted widespread media attention. Everybody who was like a female student was like, terrified. As anytime there's like, the Night Stalker or, they
Bundy.
Like anybody who meets the criterion, if you will, of whatever the typical victim is, just becomes like prisoners in their own homes. It's so terrible.
It really is.
So then we have Tracy Pauls was 23 years old and was living with her roommate, Manny Taboda, who was also 23. On Monday of August 27th, Rawling broke into their apartment. Oh, my God. He found Taboda asleep in one of the bedrooms and killed him after a struggle. So this was a male victim. He then went down to the hall to Taboda's bedroom and hearing the commotion, Pauls went down the bedroom. So this is Tracy. And went down to Taboda's bedroom and saw Rawling because she had heard the commotion. So she attempted to barricade herself in her bedroom, but Rawling broke through the door, taped her mouth shut, same everything.
I mean, this is a horror movie.
Yes. So he posed her body, but left the male's body just as it was. Yeah.
Because that's not his MO.
So with the exception of Taboda, all victims were petite, Caucasian brunette with brown eyes, just like Rawling's mother.
Oh, God.
So
what?
His photo was shown reportedly by media outlets. Hang on. One University of Florida student had a history of mental illness and bore numerous scars on his face from a car accident, making him an ideal image when discussing... Oh, so this is like a really bad lead the police had. So they identified some
They're like, that guy has scars.
So
that's rude.
So yeah, this guy ended up getting arrested, but then he was cleared.
He's like, I just have scars,
later.
Okay?
So then Louisiana police alerted Florida authorities of an unsolved triple murder in Shreveport, Louisiana. In November of 1989, they
said together.
Yes, so they said there were similarities between the Gainesville murders and those of 55-year-old William Grissom, his 24-year-old daughter Julie, and 8-year-old grandson Sean.
Oh, my God.
The family had been attacked in their home as they were preparing for dinner. Afterwards, Julie, the 24-year-old girl, body had been mutilated, cleaned, and posed.
Oh, my God.
So
getting ready for dinner, that's like not a scary time of the day,
No.
You think you'd be safe.
So they kind of like realized that there was probably some sort of a connection between those. And then Rawling had said completely I'm trying to kind of skip ahead because I don't want to keep talking about all those horrible things he did. I can't skip. What am I doing? So 3 months earlier, in August 1990, who's Jurek? I don't know who this is. But anyways,
But
heard a news report about a string of murders as she traveled through the Florida Panhandle. The report made her think about Rawling, whom she'd met at her Louisiana hometown church, and his possible link to the 3 other Shreveport murders.
How would that make her think of that?
Well, said he'd said some deeply disturbing things to both her and her then husband, Steve. He'd come over every night for a while, and one night, Steve came in and goes, he's got to go. And Jurek said...
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was what Jurek said when she... I guess
She's like, he gotta go.
So Steve told her that Rawling had told him he had a problem, and Jurek said...
Oh,
I said, what kind of problem? And Steve was
You
like...
need too many potato chips, too?
He likes to stick knives in people.
What?
So she said she dismissed these comments when she heard about them.
Don't ever dismiss those comments!
If someone says, I like to stick knives in people, you report it until you see someone writing it down.
No one normal says that.
No.
No one stable says that. That is a red flag.
So she was, and she just didn't want to believe she was like, I don't want to believe someone who was in my house is responsible.
Oh my
believe
God.
it.
Believe it always. That's
Yes.
how you end up getting murdered.
100%.
Yes. Here's my outlook on life. Assume everyone's a murderer, and then work your way backwards from there.
Exactly.
When I met Amy, I was like, she's a murderer. And then-
Eliminate them as suspects, and then they can be in your circle, which is why our circle is only us 2. So sorry, everyone else.
Yes.
We don't know you well enough yet.
Right. I know she won't kill me.
Yes.
Kyle, I'm unsure.
Yeah.
Jamie, her husband, unsure.
It's up in the air. Anything goes.
Yes. That's a safe outlook. Assume everyone is a murderer and then go backwards.
Because you will be right some of the time.
You will be right.
They will be a murderer.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, though.
And
People just are naive sometimes.
So now we're back to this lady. And she said one time Danny did tell her.
Jurek?
Yes. I don't know if that's her.
That's got to be her last
Cindy Jurek. She called Crime Stoppers to report him.
Yeah, too late, Cindy. That's great.
I would have been just calling 911. I would have been calling. For me, Crime Stoppers is like, hey, I think I see the trailer that got stolen last week.
I would be
from
calling
Bob's
John
Garage.
Walsh.
Yes.
Excuse me, John?
Robert Stack, are you still alive?
I would call him through the Ouija board.
Or the FBI. I need to speak directly to whoever's in charge. Scully and Mulder, I need them on the case.
We need the real life
Crime
equivalent.
Stoppers. Give me a break.
How do you know that number? They didn't have the internet.
No, but it used to be, I remember back in the 90s, like there used to be Crime Stopper signs all along the highways.
Oh.
So maybe that's why. She's like, well,
memorized.
Yeah, 1-800 Crime Stoppers. I'll call them.
That's easy to remember. Who's on the other
I
block?
would have went to 1,000. I'd have been like, I'm calling.
Well, yeah, if someone's like, I like to stick knives.
Hello, I need to speak with the President of the United States.
We haven't. Not if it's Trump, though. He wouldn't care. He's like, I'm busy with my post office box things that I'm taking away.
Posing a head on a shelf, whatever. Maybe it's just their autistic expression. Cindy.
You hysterical woman.
Yes, exactly. That's how that would have went down. Who was president in the 90s? Who had she been called? Bill Clinton.
He's like, I'm busy.
Yeah,
wink, wink.
Sorry. I got this black dress. I got to figure out how we can get this in, or what. Well, I'm that person. You think it's blue. I think it's black. It's that thing.
No, it's totally blue. How do you not know that? I was like a little kid. I was literally
I feel like it would show up more on black, so I changed the narrative in my own head.
I was clearly watching inappropriate things.
And Monica Lewinsky, you were a victim. That is not your fault.
I mean, he took advantage. That's a power over
100%.
situation. And also, did she just go back to work wearing that dress? You know what I mean?
Well, it wasn't dry cleaned, obviously.
Yeah, she went right home and was like, nobody touch this.
Like get like the thing you like hook your vacuum up to and like suck all the air out of it. Vacuum seal as one, as the.
But it's like, did she just walk out of the White House or the Oval Office? I don't know. That whole situation is. You should really watch Veep though.
Okay.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
All right, so back to Cindy and Danny here. So I don't know why my coffee's making me belch.
It's
I made my coffee at home today and didn't pay for it. Aren't you proud of me? This is how I'm on the path to being a billionaire.
$4 at a time.
Yes.
Hey, for real though.
So at some point, Danny had told Cindy, one day I'm going to leave this town and I'm going to go where the girls are beautiful and I can just lay in the sun and watch beautiful women all day.
Okay, Danny, God.
Yeah. So then news of the Gainesville murders haunted her, so she finally contacted the police in November based on her hunch about Rawlings' connection to the murders in both cities. It just wouldn't let me rest, she said. One day I picked up the phone, I called Crime Stoppers, and I said, I think there's one guy y'all need to investigate, Danny Rawling.
Well, thanks, Cindy.
Yeah,
but again,
Cindy actually set this ball in motion. Good for you, Cindy.
She did, but could you have done it maybe like...
when he said he wanted to stick knives in people. Because
Could you
I
have
don't know
saved
when that
lives?
happened.
It's unclear, but
Maybe.
yeah.
We're not blaming you, Cindy.
No.
Because you probably did ultimately save
Yes.
lives, but could you have saved more?
Yeah.
So investigators responded to the tip. They found him.
Good.
He'd been arrested on September 7th at a Ocala supermarket for robbery. It had been committed 10 days after the bodies of Pauls and Tabota were found. He is being held in Marion County Jail, 40 miles south of Gainesville. Investigators determined that Rawling had type B blood like the suspect in both the Gainesville and Shreveport murders. Once Florida investigators realized Rawling had multiple convictions for armed robbery, they realized he could have been responsible, also been responsible for the bank robbery that occurred the day that Krista Hoyt's body was found. So he was just like on like this spree.
Yeah, he's on a rampage.
So they returned the evidence locker where the gun, screwdriver, bag of money, and cassette player had been stored and listened to the tape. What was on the,
Did they, had they not listened to it
was
before?
Was it? What's on the tape? Like, is it MC Hammer? Or
It's
is
him
it like
playing his guitar.
They also found tools matching marks left at the Gainesville murder scenes. The small camp where he'd been living in a wooded area near the apartment complex is frequented by students. Investigators discovered audio diaries he'd made. And more alluding to crimes. They did... I'm spitting. They did play on this documentary. I watched some of his tapes where he's like, oh, Pop, I'm so sorry if I've disappointed you, Daddy-O. And
What?
I don't know.
Like
It's
after the murders, he's saying these things?
he's like talking to his dad.
He's lost it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just lost it.
So in November of 91,
Psychotic
he was
break.
charged with several counts of murder. He was brought to trial nearly 4 years after the murders. He claimed his motive was to become a superstar like Ted Bundy.
Ugh.
Subsequently, all this other crap
Sorry
happened.
you didn't, because I didn't know your name.
But anyways, I don't know why Wikipedia is just like not mentioning this, but he was saying he was possessed by a demon named Gemini. That's why I'm just
Gemini! I'm a Gemini! Hello.
It's Whitney made me do it.
Hey, us Geminis, we are a little like, I don't know, we have two sides to us, apparently.
So anyways.
So does he, Danny.
He was executed he was found guilty, executed.
If he was in Florida, he was, for sure.
His last meal was a lobster tail, and he
I
sang.
thought you were gonna say gobstopper. I'm like, that's bizarre.
I was gonna say that he sang a gospel hymn,
Ugh.
also, but whatever. I'm not. He's unimportant because he is trash.
Ew.
So let me see. Let me go
He
down.
was possessed by a demon named Gemini. I'm not sure there are demons named Gemini.
No. So the National Enquirer sat down with the guy who made the documentary.
I need to work there. Is that even a thing still? Probably.
So I don't know. Where's this going? I don't know where
Don't know.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. We have a new Scream movie out. Yes, I've seen it. It was really good.
Are any of the original cast back?
Mm-hmm. Nev Campbell's back.
Love her.
David Arquette, Courtney Cox.
David Arquette and Courtney Cox used to be married.
Mm-hmm. They have a daughter.
Coco. Wonder how that goes. Are they just like, oh, yes, I do.
I mean,
I miss you.
They filmed well together.
I love you.
So they were talking about his Discovery Plus Shock Doc Scream, the true story. Available now on the streaming platform where paranormal investigator Steve Shippey and evidential medium Cindy Kaza explore the ghosts behind the face of the horrific real-life
So they're trying
murders.
to talk to Gemini?
Or they don't know. They're trying to talk to Danny. And here's my
Where?
thing. They go to his campsite. They go to his childhood home. They go...
Did they go to his cell?
No, they did not go to the prison.
I feel like that's where, like, most of him would be. I mean, who knows? Who knows where your ghost goes,
exactly.
Can mine go to, like, Disney World?
But they're like, the result is an intense hour and 24 minutes where the true crime and paranormal genres combine. It wasn't that good.
It wasn't a shock doc.
No, it was not a shock doc. It was a good episode
doc.
of Ghost Hunters.
Oh, okay.
Like, let's be real. So then they, like, ask him a bunch of questions. But here's my thing. He was a serial killer. Mm-hmm. He was a horrible human being. And the only thing I didn't like about this documentary was, like, when the psychic was communicating with him, they kept trying to make it like, yeah, it was a demon. It was, like, this generational curse. Because, like, allegedly...
Generational curse?
Yeah. I guess his great-grandfather was sitting at the dinner table one night with Danny's dad. So it would have been Danny's dad was having dinner with his grandparents. Okay. And his grandpa got mad at his grandma, stood up, took a knife off the table, and literally decapitated her. Like, sawed her head off right in front of Danny's dad.
Oh, my God.
And so I guess Danny's dad used that as, like, you know how it's like, when I was a kid...
Like,
they would use that to, like, threaten his mom all the time. Like, remember, I saw my grandpa chop my mom's head off at the dinner table. Don't think I won't do that to you, too.
Oh, my God.
So then they're trying to be like, so his grandpa was really bad, his dad was really bad. It's like... It was like a generational curse.
Or generational trauma.
Like, exactly. Mental illness.
Right. I'm not sure that's a curse. I think that's just some terrible people making more terrible people.
So I think I'm just going to ignore, like, where National Enquirer interviews him. Since this was before I watched the documentary. I'm like, I might need something.
Yeah.
So cue the documentary. And it's like this guy, whatever his name was, Steve, and then the psychic medium, Cindy again, another Cindy. And she's always wearing like a kimono. And she's got her hair always...
Is she Asian?
No. But like the,
sort of culturally appropriating.
Well, no, I don't mean like a traditional kimono. Okay. I mean like, that's just like her
like
style.
A robe.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a silk robe.
Yeah.
She's Hugh Hefner.
Yes. Oh my God. Have you been watching the Playboy?
No, but what?
Docuseries?
No, what's it on?
Hulu, I believe. What? I don't. It's on like a A&E or.
Is it them
something.
Talking about their experience with him?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They interview Holly Madison.
Didn't you? I loved. I mean, I watched those shows all the time. Again, as a teenager, I don't know how.
Jamie and I have been watching Pam and Tommy also.
I want to watch that.
Don't watch it with your children anywhere near.
No,
it's
no.
like
I would imagine.
Full frontal nudity.
They like reenact the sex tape. Nice. They make her look. Who is the actress? Lily Collins.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
she's
Sebastian
unrecognizable.
Mm-hmm.
She
really is.
Pamela.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What's the other thing called? I'll just call it
it's Playboy something.
Playboy on Hulu. Got it. Oh, that's fascinating.
But they interview like
and
people who like were Playboy bunnies like in the clubs, and they interview like a lady who was like a house mom, and they intervio people who were his girlfriends, and it's really
there's a podcast too about it. It's called Power, and then I forget there's like something underneath it like a subtitle. But
there's so much good stuff to watch. Right now.
It's really.
So anyhow, so let's go back to my doc, shall we? So Steve and Cindy, they're in the woods, blah, blah. You know, like, oh, Danny, are you here? Danny, was it you? Was it a demon?
That's basically us.
And then Cindy, you know, typical psychic medium who's on these shows. Oh, I feel something. It feels so heavy
in my chest.
There was a demon.
You're having a heart attack, Cindy.
You don't know. So then
you were so hateful.
He killed people. Like,
I know.
He brutally murdered people.
Well, it's like, is that a scapegoat?
And he has to own this crap. Yeah. Like, that's on him.
You don't believe, though, that a demon could have, like, also just made it worse?
I'm not going to let the demon take the credit for it. This guy did horrible things. Yeah. It was clearly premeditated. Because in the documentary, they tried to say that he would say he was fine during the day, and then at night, Jim and I would take him over. No, because during the day, you were peeking through the bushes from your little
playing your
camp out crap. So, no.
Yeah.
No.
That's creepy.
I'm not. You did what you did.
She's not doing it.
And now you did. So then, cute, they like go to this demonologist. There's like this Catholic demonologist.
Again, why is that not my job?
Find these people, and he's just this guy sitting here, and he said,
"Is he old?
He's middle aged."
Okay, because I assume they're always like 80.
No,
Their textbooks
he's
are
probably
like falling
50.
apart. How do you become trained to be a demonologist?
He's like saying a prayer in Latin as the camera pan, and he's wearing a hat. I'm like, you don't take your hat off to do that?
Like a
baseball cap.
What?
And then
Wait,
I'm like,
priests wear baseball
well, he
caps?
wasn't a priest. He was just a Catholic demonologist.
Don't you have to, in my mind, you have to be...
Was sanctioned by the...
That's true.
And is this guy really even sanctioned by the...
You
Or is
should
he just calling
definitely-
himself a demonologist?
Why don't we do that?
No, I don't want to do that.
No, just for making up titles for ourselves.
Oh, okay. I'm like, no, I don't want to be a demon. I love you, but I will not go down that path
No,
with you.
I actually
Nope.
got creeped out after researching one of my stories last night and went in my kid's bedroom and I went to lay in Holden's bed with him and I like jumped up and to get my
I thought
feet.
you were telling me you went to like pray over him.
No, I just like got my feet. I was like, you know how you're like,
Yes.
God, feet up.
Have you seen the things with Khloe Kardashian in the car where they're like, this is the hand that I'm afraid is going to reach out from under my bed and
It's her
get
chicken
me.
fingers.
Yes.
God bless.
What is happening to your hands, Khloe? Fix that. And why are people still wearing really long nails? That is...
How do you live?
How do you wipe yourself after you go to the bathroom? I'm not even joking.
No, I mean, long nails in general gross me out because, like, you can't keep that clean.
No. How do you button buttons?
How do you put in contacts?
How do you text? How do you do
I don't-
anything?
No, my nails are always below my fingertips.
Yes.
Always.
I have very unhealthily short nails.
I don't. Long nails gross me out, and it makes your hands look like that.
Yeah.
like chicken.
Gross.
Feet.
So gross.
That
Why
is
are
the
your
hand.
hands so pale?
That is the hand. That's
Yes, for real.
That's so great. The internet's a horrible place and also a wonderful place.
It really is. This is why I get nothing done. This is why I was watching this documentary at 5 o'clock this morning.
Because you're just looking
I
at-
spent the week looking at Khloe Kardashian's hands
Memes.
from all different angles.
It's
So sad. Okay, so
Lord
so
help
here's
us.
this demonologist saying prayer in his baseball cap, and I'm like, what is on his ball cap? Because it's all black, and then there's just like this big silver cross. And I don't mean like silver stitching. I mean like silver the metal. It's metal. And then he's got like this giant silver cross necklace. I'm like, what? Where did you like bedazzle that yourself, or did you buy that from like the demonologist store? Like
His blue jeans
Where
are just
are
like
you shopping?
all these studs and crosses on them too. We get it.
yeah.
Hey, I love Jesus too, but like chill.
And so he's
Play
so,
it cool.
so yeah. So, and he's like,
Maybe that protects
and he's
him.
taking it like self real seriously too. You know.
I mean, you have to if you're a
If you're a
demonologist. You know, you can't be
self-proclaimed,
willy. You can't be
probably, allegedly.
willy-nilly with
I don't know.
demonology.
Yeah, you really can't. Which is why I will never be one. 'cause
No.
I would be the willy-nilly demonologist.
You're
and they'd be
literally
like,
possessed.
a portal just opens up and the earth
Everything
and
comes
the
spewing
world-
out.
Yes. Oh, sorry, guys.
You open the hell mouth.
Sorry, humankind. My bad.
Out comes that creepy cryptid you talk.
And I don't have the time to figure out how to close this because the Kardashians are doing this week. So, bye.
You're manifesting things
Yeah.
in your brain that just
Go
are
get
coming
like
to
some
life.
silicone. Just try spraying that in there. I don't know what we're gonna
What?
do. Like when you silicone a crack in your basement. I don't know. Clearly, I don't. Demonology and home improvement. These are clearly not my strong suits.
Add that to the list.
So as they're talking to this demonologist, they're like, and how do we even know if this like the demon we're communicating with is like Gemini, or is it like other where there's one, are there multiple? And I kid you not, the demonologist is like, well, yeah, where there's one, they're like the mafia. Talking about demons.
And so what?
No.
I'm thinking about that though. What? How many are there?
No.
What's the total number?
John Gotti, demon. No.
No, The Sopranos.
Totally yeah.
I mean, that's
Totally different.
That's also just like insensitive.
So then they cut to like Sandra London. She was that ex-fiance who like authored that. They kept like cutting to her all the time and she's like saying stuff.
Stop. being in love with serial killers.
Yeah.
It's so gross.
Yeah, and I'm like, just quit. And it's so funny looking at the old footage of her because she's just like, "Wah." Like she's got super red lipstick on, and at one point he's like singing a church hymn to her, and she's just standing there like, "Oh." I'm like, this
She's
is
never
so
had a
weird.
boyfriend either.
No, she really hasn't.
Until that one guy asked her out
Yes.
at a
And
basketball
then she would like share all his letter. He would like draw.
Oh.
I don't want to give him any credit for
No.
anything, but he like would do a lot of art. And he was a good artist.
can be a
I'm
talented
gonna give him
artist
that.
and
He
still
was a
be a
talented
piece
artist.
of
So he would
crap.
like draw like, this is what my demon
got a
looks
lot
like
of
and
time
stuff.
to
Yeah, he really
hone his
nothing
craft.
but
He has
sitting
no
on death row.
He has no Kardashians
waiting on his lobster
to watch.
tail. But
Ugh.
so then
I'm sorry, how sad is your life though if you're just like waiting by the mailbox for
Yeah.
your letter from your death row boyfriend?
and she's like, and it's not like that.
Like what?
I just, like people think I wasn't like a.
yes, you were.
Yeah, she were.
It's
She's like,
exactly
I just wanted
like
to get
that.
a story out there.
Why?
Yeah, exactly.
God, go
So
do
she does
something
have
good.
a book. I will not be reading her book. It's
No.
lame.
Yeah.
Probably, allegedly. So then they go to his childhood home. The
Where the
psychic
neck slashing
and the,
happened?
No, where Danny grew up.
Oh, okay.
And where he like allegedly had all this abuse and stuff happened to him through his father.
It seems like
So
that
they go
probably
there
happened.
and they like knock on the door and this old lady
God.
lives there. I think her name's maybe like Sheila or something. And they're like, "Hey, girl, what's
Oh
up?"
my God. And now
she's-
maybe she didn't know.
well, she knows now because she's experiencing things, and now she knows that like he grew up there, but
Ew.
she didn't realize it when she'd bought the house.
But that
And
poor
she's like,
old
I
lady.
noticed, like, people would never walk on this side of the street. None of
Oh
the
my
neighbors
God.
ever wanted to
No
come
one
over.
could warn her.
Friggin' Zillow. Come on.
Or that realtor.
Yeah, somebody.
Don't sell
like, there
that-
should be. I don't really know what's going on in Shreveport, Louisiana, but I don't know what the laws are, but you should really
To a little
have to
old
disclose
lady?
that.
Yes.
Well, I don't think she was a little old lady when she bought
Oh.
it. She's lived there a really long time, but she has not updated this house at all. It's still wood paneling.
Oh,
It's-
gosh. You need to
yeah.
like burn some sage up in
So
there.
she's in there talking to him, and she shows them. It's still like the original cabinets in the kitchen. There's a bullet hole in the cabinet where he shot his dad. Remember, he shot his dad's eye and ear off. So that's still there.
Oh, my God.
And she's like, there is for sure a ghost in this house. And
no.
she said she'll be standing at the sink doing dishes, and dishes will just like get knocked out of her
Oh,
hands.
my gosh. So it's angry. It's not
Yes.
even like...
She said pictures will come flying off the walls. Her and her husband will be like in the living room.
Oh, she has a...
Yeah, she
okay.
hasn't.
I
but
thought...
they're
I
both
imagine...
elderly.
I know, but I
it
imagined
said.
she was alone.
Oh no, she's
Okay.
not alone. He was not being interviewed for this documentary.
He's like, not showing my
Sheila, no.
I'll be in the bedroom.
Bye. And so she said they'll be sitting in the living room and hear like dishes and stuff breaking in the kitchen, but then they'll go in there and there's nothing.
So creepy.
I
don't like that.
And she said none of the activity happened until, and then she said like right around Thanksgiving of whatever year it was, and that happens to be when he was executed.
Weird.
So, and she didn't know that, but she was just like, well, this is when all started. And the guy's like, oh, well, that's how. And she's like, okay, great, but now how do I get rid of this?
Yeah.
Like that's
Can
what
you help
I'm
me?
interested
Medium?
in. And Steve is like, well, I'm gonna try, but I'm just here to investigate. But if we think there is something, then we'll help, with the right things
How?
to do to
How,
get
Steve?
with the guy with the cross on his ball cap.
Oh, he's coming?
He eventually makes
Okay,
a
great.
reappearance. So then they go in this one room, and she's like, "This is this is where we sleep." Objects fly across the room.
How do you sleep there?
And then she's just like picking up like a stapler and throws it. She's like this.
We're like, we
This is
understand what throwing
I understand
is,
what
Sheila.
flying across the room means. But you're cute, and I love you, Sheila.
How do you sleep there?
Then get this, she used to have an in-home daycare, and she's like, and then this room here is where all the kids always said the ghost is at.
Oh,
So she's like, I hate this room. I don't like coming in here.
Which room is that?
That's the other bedroom.
Oh, maybe it was his bedroom.
Go back though to her bedroom. She said her husband is constantly accusing her of twisting his nipples. Like a titty twister, right? Is that what that's
Yes.
called? But
she's like, John, why would I possibly?
He's like, Sheila!
And I said it once, I've said it a million times. Quit twisting my nipples.
I remember that. I know you've heard of a tornado, but have you ever heard of a titty twister?
Who said that?
I know, people in my childhood. Like, back off. That's sexual assault, first of all. But
They don't do that to girls, do they?
No, but I guess he would, like, cut the nipples off of his victims.
Oh, my God.
So that's why this
He
correlates
is
in here.
the grossest person.
So then she goes in this room
but
where...
Sorry, but
she's
the ghost
like,
is only doing it to the husband.
yeah. She's like, no,
Or she can't feel her
Ronnie,
nipples anymore.
or I don't know what his name is. Maybe, hey, I feel that. You're
I know,
pain,
I was
Sheila.
just joking.
So then they're back in that room that's like really bad that they won't go in. She still has the original curtains hanging up. I'm like, Sheila,
Ew.
when he was like, why don't you move? She's like, we can't afford to, which I mean.
I can't afford to buy new
clearly.
curtains.
Yeah, but I'm like, okay, I get not being able to afford to move, but
Buy a
you still have
pair.
the original
Okay, go to-
pink curtains.
You can go to DG or
Yes.
Walmart and get
Or
yourself $5.
You look handy, Sheila. I bet you can make some
Yeah,
curtains.
go to Goodwill.
Girl, hang a sheet up.
Hang a
People do
sheet-
it all the time.
Anything.
Yes.
But the original
Yes.
curtains.
But everything in that house is still red. Like there's the
Well, she
bullet hole
probably
in the
really
cabinets.
loves it.
There's
It's like her
it's all
style.
wood paneling and shag carpet as far as the eye can see. So
Oh, it's gotta be so dirty after
Yeah.
all those,
Ugh.
Carpet is made to be replaced
100%.
at some point.
So then she says a bunch of stuff flies around that room all the time. And then the psychic is like, this place is awful. And then they're like, Sheila,
Obviously.
we want to investigate. You cool with us putting you up in a hotel for a night? She's like, yeah. So then they get rid of
Hot
Sheila.
tub.
So then after the psychic is like, this is so bad. This is like the worst place ever. The paranormal investigator, Steve, is like, how do you feel about sensory deprivation? How about I put you in the room, put earplugs in, and blindfold you so you
Ew.
don't know what I'm asking, and then you just start saying whatever comes to mind.
I kind of like
that's-
that.
That's how they start doing their investigation.
That's
So she's like,
interesting.
yeah, I'll do it. Even though she was just like, this is the worst place I've ever been.
Because that almost kind of gives you, it validates a little bit. Like, it makes, that's interesting. Okay.
So allegedly she can't hear anything
Yeah,
or
yeah,
anything he's doing. So he's like running around asking questions and stuff, and she's in there going, I'm not Danny, his dad, or his mom. I'm nothing you've ever seen before.
Okay, that's,
Go to the bedroom to find me.
Ew.
Danny boy, Danny boy. She kept saying Danny boy.
that's really gross.
And then the investigator has a spirit box and it says, get out.
I feel like that's not safe for her.
No.
If that's actually happening.
And then the psychic's going, watch your back. I'm right in front of you now. Take a swing at me. You can't hit me. And he's like, and then
I don't want to.
she's like, I can't remember if she said it or the spirit box said outside. So then the guy's like, oh, I think I just saw something in the window. So then he just goes outside, walking around. I'm like, she's sitting in there blindfolded. And then after a minute, he's like, oh, Cindy, I probably better go back in and check on her.
Oh my
So
God.
he's like, Cindy, I think we probably better stop with this experiment. She's like, yeah, I'm so wiped out. I'm so wiped out. And then she goes and sits in like the carport for a while because she's so wiped out.
Smokes a sick.
And so then they keep doing their thing, and then they're like capturing something on the thermal and
Sure.
whatever. It's just like your typical ghost hunting
Yeah, yeah.
crap. So then the demonologist, because then I'm like, you guys better not like be stirring up all this crap and now leaving and
I
having
know.
Sheila come home.
Right.
So they do call the demonologist.
Like
And he
this-
does
like
it like
that
an
night or the next
that
day?
night,
Oh,
and so
okay.
he does like an exorcism. So he's got like, you know, the Catholic thing they swing that has the smoke coming out.
Uh-huh.
So he's like doing all that, and then they're like, and then the psychic's like, it's moved in there. He's like, yeah, because we're like, we're chasing it out. And then he's like, okay, I've done all this stuff, and then
Where does it go, though?
then
you
the
know?
then the psychic's like, but it's still here, and you can tell he's like, well, crap. So I was so disappointed because he's just got like a 3-ring binder from Walmart. He's like reading
It
his.
should be ancient.
I know. I'm like, this should be a leather bound
Yes.
book with
Old.
like locks on it.
Yeah.
Not a freaking binder with the
locks.
pages are on printer paper.
No, yeah, that's
And then he
disappointing.
is walking around with the largest. It was a cross the size of the cross Jesus died on. It is
Oh my
the
God.
biggest.
He's
cro-
like a-
he's like holding this cross. I'm like, you could probably just be using the one on your hat, dude, or your neck. So it's like something that I would imagine like Keaton would make for me in wood shop. It is so big.
He's like, has to have help carrying it around.
She had to take wood shop or some sort of shop classes. She made me a shelf and kept getting on to me for not hanging it up. I'm like, Keaton,
It's bad.
there's literally no way to hang it up. There are no like hanging things on it. There are no holes. For
It's just wood.
It's just solid wood on the back. She's like, oh, okay. So I have it sitting in my home office and the wood glue's starting to fall off. So it's already starting to fall apart. But I haven't told her that.
Oh.
So anyway,
She's been looking at our social media, by the way.
Oh, has she?
Mm-hmm. Keaton, Taylor's version. That's her title. It's so cute. She probably doesn't listen, though.
No, she still doesn't listen.
Does this stuff creep her out, though? Maybe.
I don't know. Sometimes it does.
Yeah, that might be why.
So he does
We'll go
his
with that.
exorcism, and then they all say it's gone. So they're like, okay, cool, it's gone. So for Sheila's sake, I hope like that it actually
Seriously.
worked, and they didn't just make things because. Well, then I stopped it too. There may have been something like Sheila says things are great. I don't know, but I doubt it. I don't think. I think they probably just made things worse for Sheila. So
Poor
that is my
Sheila.
story on the Gainesville Ripper and the shock doc scream. The true story.
Shock doc. Okay, great story, Amy. I love
Thanks.
that. Okay, well, in order to just kind of like keep with our theme here, I'm going to tell you the story of the ghost of. You know how when you write something, but you never say it out loud, and then once you go to say it out loud, you're like, I don't actually know how to pronounce that.
Every day of my life.
Teresita, the ghost of Teresita Basa.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you may not know this story.
It's not, no bells are ringing for me.
Maybe you'll know it more as I go along. Who knows?
Which is just tinnitus because my ears keep ringing and it's like really upsetting.
Okay. All right. So I got my sources. My sources today are All That's Interesting and Medium.com.
Okay.
All right. Teresita Basa was born in 1929 in the Philippines to a prominent and wealthy family. I don't know why that's important, but it's in here. She graduated from Assumption College in Manila and moved to the United States in the 1960s to obtain her master's degree in music. Ooh. I forgot. She had a bachelor's degree, too. I don't remember what it was in.
Also
Something
in
else.
music.
Maybe also music. But then she ultimately became a respiratory therapist. So I guess maybe the bachelor's wasn't in that. I don't know. Not important.
No.
She worked at Edgewater Hospital just outside of Chicago, Illinois. Fun fact, Frank Sinatra was once a patient there. John Wayne Gacy was born there, and so was Hillary Clinton.
Well, what a place.
She lived a quiet life, just going about her business. She was obtaining her doctorate degree in music, and she gave out free piano lessons to the neighborhood kids and the kids in her apartment complex.
Oh, that's
She's
nice.
so cute. I didn't put a picture in here, but she's just the cutest little old lady. She's got like very short black hair, just so sweet.
Her and Sheila could be friends.
It doesn't go well, though.
Oh.
Just because she becomes a ghost.
Okay, yeah. Leave Sheila alone. Sheila's been through enough. Let's not.
Well, maybe they could become friends because Teresita's ghost comes back. So we'll get there.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping Sheila's still alive.
That's what I mean. The ghost could come talk to the
No,
person.
Sheila's been through it. Don't go talk to Sheila. Sheila's the old lady who lives in the house.
Teresita's very nice, though, is what I'm saying. She's not a scary
Well,
ghost.
I don't know, though.
Okay.
Nice or not, leave me alone, ghosts. Please, I can't.
I mean,
I'm sweating so profusely right now.
Okay.
I gotta stop with my coffee.
On February 21st, 1977, Teresita worked her normal shift at the hospital. She went back to her apartment around 7:30 p.m., spoke on the phone to her friend Ruth Loeb, like Lisa.
You say...
What was I just looking at the other day? And she was like in it.
A commercial, an insurance commercial.
Yeah, there was a movie though. Anyway.
Oh.
So her and Ruth talked on the phone for about 30 minutes. And during that call, Teresita told Ruth that she was expecting a male friend that was going to be coming over, but she gave no further details. About an hour later, the fire department was called to Teresita's apartment after neighbors complained of a smoke smell in the area. Not good.
No.
The firefighters discovered Teresita naked beneath a mattress with a kitchen knife protruding from her chest. I know. She was dead, obviously. But luckily, she had not been the victim of sexual assault, and there was really no physical evidence left behind at the scene. So she's just under a mattress. Ugh, so sad. It seemed that the perpetrator had set the fire to destroy the evidence, and it had worked. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Okay.
I don't know how you do this off your phone. I would.
Well, my keyboard popped up and then like I couldn't see the screen. Okay, here we go. Blah, 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 blah. They could tell that her apartment had been ransacked and a clear struggle had taken place. But they were really unable to determine whether anything was missing at that point. One thing they were able to take as evidence was a little like post-it memo that, or maybe not a post-it, I don't know when those were created, but
Paper.
a memo, paper, that Teresita had written to herself that said, "Get theater tickets for AS." Oh, she's just so cute.
Yeah. I'm going to the theater next weekend.
You are. They spent the next few weeks interviewing her colleagues, her neighbors, her classmates. They learned that she was quiet, polite, highly regarded by her patients, and very dedicated to her job. The cops were stumped, and for 5 months afterwards, there were really no leads. The police made public pleas, for assistance, but got nothing, and the case went cold. But then, things happened. In July, so like...
Did she avenge her killer herself, her ghost?
You just wait.
Yes, Teresita.
I know, but that's the freaking worst. You
Well,
have
yeah,
to solve your
true.
own damn murder. That's from beyond the
Do
grave.
your jobs, people. Well, this is a hag. Beam me back to Earth. I guess I'm going to have to go take care of this.
We always talk about what, ghosts still cleaning in the afterlife. Here she's having to solve her own damn murder. That's the worst.
That really is. What in the tarnation?
So in July 1977, Detective Joe Stachel arrived to work to a note on his desk asking him to call the Evanston Police Department about this case. Amy's getting some chocolate. Yeah, it is. Did we opened it?
Yeah.
There was only one.
Did you send another one?
Thanks, Miranda. We love you.
Sorry. I'm just making all sorts of racket over here, opening some chocolate.
Hey, it's almost Valentine's Day. What?
That's right. I don't know where to go with it. I'm
Okay,
trying to not put the wrapper under the mic.
Okay. So July 1977, I'm just going to call him Detective Joe. He arrived at work and there was a note on his desk.
Was it Joe Kenda?
Joe Stachel. Asking him to call the Evanston Police Department about this case. I don't know. I think Evanston's like outside of Chicago a little bit. So he called and he spoke to an officer who told him that they had received a call from someone claiming to have info about the murder. Ooh. The detective was told to get a hold of Dr. Jose C. Chua Jr. I'm probably saying that wrong. Who lived in a suburb of Chicago, and so the detective and his partner went to see Dr. Jose. That's what I'm going to call him from now on. So during the interview, Dr. Jose seemed a little bit embarrassed to tell the detectives the information that he had. So first off, he's just like, "Do you guys believe in the paranormal?" And, cops are probably usually like, no.
Yeah.
They deal in the here and the now.
We feel you, Jose.
Yeah. This might sound weird, but do you believe in the paranormal? So they told him, so Dr. Jose told the cops that he believed that his wife, her name is Remy, was possessed by the ghost of Teresita Basa. Here's why. Remy was also from the Philippines, which I think is interesting because it's like, were they like kindred spirits? She's like, Hey, I'm from the Philippines. You're like, can I come into your body? Is that cool? She didn't ask though, so you should always ask consent before you enter someone's body.
Well, you really should. It's just the polite thing
It really
to do.
is.
But no one ever does.
No one ever does. They just go right in. I mean, but Teresita's probably desperate, so I mean,
yeah, she's like, they're
look,
idiots.
this is going nowhere.
This
is going literally nowhere. Okay, so Remy is also from the Philippines and had begun to have dreams about Teresita. She tried to ignore them, but one day while asleep, she went into a trance and started speaking to her husband in a voice that wasn't her own.
I do that, but it's usually just because I'm very angry.
What? You talk
I knew you saw the light on the dishwasher.
You say that in your sleep to Jamie?
Oh, in my sleep.
Oh.
I thought you meant just talking in a voice unrecognizable. Like, that's just my angry
I
voice.
thought in your sleep you're just like yelling at Jamie about the dishwasher.
I mean, I might. I don't know.
Yeah. I do talk in my sleep, and I also go, huh, in my sleep a lot. So Kyle will be like, you did it again. You just go, huh. He just thinks it's so funny. And one time recently, I did wake myself up going, huh. I'm just going like, huh. Huh? Like, why?
What? Why?
One time I woke up, though, laughing maniacally. I've told you this. And I was like, just... Kyle's like, what? And I was like, it's funny because it's the wrong color. And then I just went to sleep.
Well,
That's alarming. I would be afraid. Okay.
kind of.
So while in a trance, he claimed that his wife said, "Doctor, I would like to ask for your help. The man who murdered me is still at large." Dr. Jose says, "Who are you?"
Well, I mean,
You would.
Yeah.
As you would. And she said,
Remy?
Yoko, I don't know. I don't speak Filipino, obviously, but that means I am Teresita Basa. Dun, dun, dun. Then she, his wife, but Teresita, told Dr. Jose, "Don't be scared. Please help me solve my murder."
Oh,
I know.
that is so sad.
I know. Would you still be scared, though?
Oh, yeah.
I would still be so scared. Don't be. It's so sad, though, that she's just like, please, God, someone, like, figure this out. So Teresita, through Remy, claimed that Alan Showery, who was another respiratory therapist colleague of hers at the hospital, was the one who killed her. So she gave a name.
A.S.
A.S. She knew. She's just like, it was Alan! And mother effer.
So I should have wrote his whole name on that stupid Post-it, and then I wouldn't be having
this.
to, like, take Remy hostage right now.
On the other side, is she just like, excuse me, I'd like to have a day pass to go back to Earth? I don't understand. Who knows? So, okay. So she said that she's telling Dr. Jose this. Alan had arrived at her house to fix her TV, but had killed her instead. You missed the mark,
God,
Alan.
that's-
God. So when Remy awoke from her nap, she had no idea what she had just said or what had happened. So at this point, Dr. Jose decided not to say anything and not to call the police. I mean, that would be tricky because you're like, I don't want to ruin someone's life if he didn't do anything. And also, I'd be like, hello, this ghost came through my wife
I would
to tell
also
me
have,
this.
like, some follow-up questions for Remy.
Yeah,
Like, Remy,
yeah.
what do you have any recollection of anything that just happened? What were you experiencing?
Right. Or do some, like, follow-up research. Like, look up at
Her name.
CaseNet Allen. Or CaseNet Allen Showery. Maybe they didn't have CaseNet, but, like, look him up. Is he a criminal?
Teresita.
Teresita.
Like,
Yeah, who is she? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these questions. Was she even actually murdered? Right. Okay, so a week later, the same thing happened. Again, Remy was asleep. She began talking in the same voice as before, but this time the voice was angry.
no.
And Teresita
She's like, listen, I
I've had
came
enough.
back here for this.
I've had enough.
Jose?
She said,
I put
Jose,
all my eggs in your
why
basket.
didn't you go to the police? Literally, she says that.
Well,
She's a woman who knows what she wants.
exactly.
So Jose spoke to the voice, reminding him, I'm a doctor, and I am scientifically minded, and I won't go to the police without proof or evidence that he's the murderer. I'm like,
Oh,
what a
Jose.
dick move
Don't
also.
be that guy.
I'm a doctor. You know what I hate is when people... Sorry, a tangent, and not every doctor. Hashtag not every doctor. But, like, I hate when people get a doctorate and then will only be called their like, I have a doctorate. I have a doctorate of human resources. I will only be called Dr. Whitney from now on.
If I had nothing better to do than go back to school, I could get mine as well. You know?
Right, but would you only
I'm
let
not-
people call you Dr. Amy?
Well, I'm just saying that's not that impressive.
Right. I mean, he's a medical doctor.
I have
guess,
my
which is
master's, so I
hard.
could get my doctorate in.
I know. It's just so pretentious when, like, you're like, I
It's
will
really-
only
no,
be
I
called
know.
doctor
Oh, I know. I'm-
so-and-so. Even to, like, colleagues or friends. Anywho. Hey, getting your
Business
doctorate,
cards.
go for it. Business cards, you're just handing them out to friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, go you, but just, like, be normal.
We have
Just-
a fan who has her doctorate, and she is not like that.
No, she still lets us call her Tanya. JK Tanya. Sorry, it's like really a dumb joke at this point.
That's what we do.
That's exactly right.
I'm
Okay.
eating all the chocolate. I'm going to get the worst shaboobies. I've got to stop.
Does chocolate give you shadoobies?
If I eat too much of it.
Oh, man. Well, it's Dove. I mean, Dove's like the jam. And
It really is. It's so
Valentine's
soft
Day.
on my tongue. Amazing. Silky smooth.
All right, so she won't be he won't. Dr. Jose will not go without proof. Annoyed, Teresita says, "Well, fine, I'll get you proof." She's not even playing.
Gotta do everything. Literally
I know,
everything.
it's so
I have
sad.
to do the dying. I have to do the coming back.
Yeah.
I have to go do the evidence collection.
It's so sad. It's really
Jeez.
sad. So Teresita tells Dr. Jose that Alan had stolen some pieces of jewelry from her apartment, including several unique pieces that her dad had bought in France and given to her mom, and then she got it. Like, it's been
Okay.
passed down through the family. So after stealing it, Alan had given it to his girlfriend. Ugh.
Alan.
I know, what a jerk.
Gross.
The voice gave the names and the phone numbers of 4 people who would be able to verify this.
Jeez, man, this is like...
Can you? She's
like-
like, do you got a pen and paper? Okay, 314.
Just like when Whoopi Goldberg lets Patrick Swayze come in. It's very specific.
Unchained Melodies playing in the background.
Yes.
I know. So I guess Jose was like, okay, well, that's good enough. And he calls the police. So the police were obviously very skeptical. But the name Alan Showery, like you said, did match the initials on that weird memo. So they're like, we'll look into it. They ran a background check on him and discovered that he lived near Teresita. And that he was also employed at the hospital. He did, sorry, I have a burp. But in a different department, but still the same hospital.
So if they just done a little police investigation in the first place and be like, okay, we know where she works. Who works there with these initials?
Right.
Like, hello.
Why aren't we detectives?
Add that to the list.
Many reasons. But
Yes.
in another life where I'm not maybe such a chicken.
We would contaminate every crime scene.
No, we wouldn't.
Yes, we
We're
would.
so professional.
Yeah, right.
But you take your meticulousness in your current job, you know?
They'd be like, you idiot. You just got Dove chocolate
You're just like
all over.
You're just spinning.
Yes.
We're spinning constantly.
All the time. They're like, you guys are the prime suspects in every case you
Why is your DNA?
because your DNA is just so all over
Okay,
the
take it all
spot.
back.
Because we're always scratching our skin. It's just
They're like, why is Aquaphor like
Yes.
everywhere? My ants still are not right. Don't put Aquaphor on your palms.
no.
by the
I
way.
don't know why you did
Well,
that.
I put too much on my finger and then I didn't know where to go with it.
Well, I had tissues. I could have given you one.
Now they like are repelling.
I thought you were actually putting it on your hands for moisturizing.
No,
I'm
it's like
I've never
re-
seen that done before.
It's like repelling the sweat. So
So
it's a very
and you'd also be a terrible criminal because you'd just be leaving your fingerprints like very pronounced everywhere because they're in Aquaphor.
Oh, God. It's bad. It's really bad.
So we would have let you down, Teresita. Sorry.
Sorry, Teresita, but we're telling your story now.
We are.
So, okay, so they talked to some of Alan's coworkers, and they were shocked when each coworker mentioned that Alan had said he was going to fix Teresita's TV that day. And I wrote, why are people so dumb? Like, if you're
Yeah.
going to murder her, why would you tell everyone? I mean, I'm not trying to, like, tell murderers how to do their job.
No.
Whatever.
And if you are going to murder someone, go ahead and tell a bunch of people.
Yeah,
ahead of
yeah.
time to make it easier to catch.
I mean, absolutely.
Which clearly didn't matter anyway.
Well, right. But I mean, like,
All you had to do was question some people.
right. It's just so dumb. If you were going to commit a crime, why are you going to tell everyone about it? So, I mean, it's great because it's helpful, but it's also just
Right.
like, what is that?
And what year was this? What's he doing?
70s?
Okay. So he's like,
77.
well, fixing a TV back then was just banging on it.
It weighed 4,000
Okay, now the
pounds.
static's gone.
Well,
Like a TV was a giant piece of furniture back in those
there's
days.
a little bit of shade thrown here in a minute. It's pretty great. So at this point, the police are like, well, it's probably him.
Well,
We're about 98%
I mean, it
sure.
only took Teresita returning from the dead to point you, and now they're going to take credit for it, aren't they?
Oh, I'm sure.
You freaking jerks.
Yeah. So they go to Alan, whatever's last, showering or whatever's apartment, unannounced. Good. And they find him there with his girlfriend, Yanka Kumluk. I'm probably saying that wrong.
She's wearing all the pieces of jewelry.
They asked him if he'd go down to the station, and he's like, okay. In regards to her murder, and he agrees. I never understand that either. You can say no.
Can you say no?
Yeah.
You can, yeah.
Yeah, if you're not under arrest, but I guess he's like, that looks suspicious. So
he's like, yeah, let me just take off all these rings and necklaces and French pieces of jewelry.
Right. So initially he denies having ever gone to her house or apartment. But when the police confronted him with the knowledge that other people had overheard him saying he was going there, he changed his tune and admitted that he had gone to her apartment, but he had left immediately upon arriving when he realized he had forgotten a tool he needed. The screwdriver, the one tool.
The knife that was sticking out of her bag.
Right.
Freaking
Yikes.
jerk.
So he said he went straight back to his own house because there was an electrical issue at his own house that he needed to fix.
What?
Lots of electrical things happening. So the police went to his girlfriend, Yanka, to corroborate his story. And she's like, he don't know anything about there's no electrical issue. And even if there were, Alan don't know how to fix that. And I wrote, the shade.
Yeah.
She's like, that idiot can't do anything. He's a piece of crap.
Yes.
Useless.
I don't even know why he was going to fix someone's TV.
He don't know how to do that.
Anybody can bang on the TV.
Right.
That's literally all you did back, or you like adjusted the rabbit ears.
Right. So then the kicker is that they asked the girlfriend if she'd received any new jewelry from Alan lately, and lo and behold, she was wearing some of the jewelry. It's sad.
It's very sad.
And to be her too, you're just like, oh,
yeah.
So
Sorry.
so gross.
But when you also question, like, you got this piece of crap boyfriend, and all of a sudden he's just like, I never give you anything. Here's 10 pieces of jewelry.
Well, maybe she's like, I'm cool with robbery, just not murder. You know?
No, don't be that either.
No, I
God,
mean,
that's
for
not
sure
okay
not.
either.
But so the police confront Alan with this information, and he confesses. So he admitted that he was planning to rob Teresita because he needed rent money. He was going there on the guise of fixing her TV, and Teresita was planning to buy him theater tickets as a thank you.
Aww.
You're a piece of crap, Alan.
Yeah.
All of this was just pointless, obviously, but even more so because he was only able to take $30. I don't know how much rent was in the 70s, but probably more than $30.
I would imagine in Chicago area.
And then it's like, why didn't you pawn the jewelry? But okay.
Yeah.
So he took $30 in the jewelry before he started the fire. So he was arrested and charged with her murder. He went to trial on January 21st, 1979, but it ended in a hung jury. Well, probably because the ghost was...
Because the ghost was the key witness.
It's just Remy on the stand.
They're like, she's there. You can't see her, but she's there.
Go ahead, Teresita.
And Remy is Whoopi Goldberg. Okay, I give you permission.
And oh wait, no, that's not.
Oh, my love.
What was I singing? Whitney Houston.
I will always love you. Dolly Parton.
Oh, true. Yeah, my childhood
Give credit
is
where
Whitney
credit is
Houston.
due.
Yeah. Did she sing it first or just wrote? Right. I know she
Both.
wrote it. Okay. And then she just was like, "Yeah, Whitney, go ahead."
Yeah.
I mean, she probably got a lot of royalties off that too.
She refused to sign the extra. Yeah. So because they wanted to buy the rights or whatever, and she's like, "No, I'm gonna hold on to this." And
Yeah. Smart
Dolly. And then she
genius.
donated it all to children's
Imagination
books.
Library.
Dolly Parton.
America's sweetheart.
I love you.
She really is magical. Okay, so hung jury, which really sucks. So while in prison awaiting his next trial, he decided to plead guilty in exchange for a lesser sentence. He was given 14 years for murder, 4 for robbery, and 4 for arson. Some people believe that he decided to plead guilty after Teresita's ghost visited him in prison.
Good for her. She's like, okay, fine.
You piece of crap.
I'm already here.
But in the end, he ended up only serving 5 years before he was paroled. And I wrote, the U.S. prison system so freaking screwed up.
It really is.
You'll spend more time in jail having weed,
marijuana,
right,
yeah,
than murdering and setting someone on fire.
Yeah,
gross. So again, this poor woman ended up solving her own murder from beyond the grave.
Well, let the women do the work, as they say in GCO.
That's exactly right, and how sad. So there you go. That's it.
Good story.
Thanks, guys. So follow us on our socials, everyone.
Yeah,
we don't remember what they are.
Tinker Toy later on. We don't know.
Follow us on our socials. Hit up our website, onthehauntpodcast.com. We've got merch. We've got stickers. Yeah. They're only $7, you guys. Come on.
What a deal.
Yeah, and they're magical and cute. You know you want one. And when we send them, it will be me and Amy mailing them to you. They're going to be cute. I'm going to bring them here so Amy can like sign the card. I mean, it's going to be so personalized directly to you.
We're giving you all of our DNA so you can frame us for all the crimes.
We will scratch our skin over top of.
If it arrives and it's real slick, it's just Aquaphor.
Yeah,
don't panic.
Don't be alarmed. Yeah, they're so cute. Hit it up. We've got all of our cute merch on our website too. Follow us, share us. We're almost at 3,000 likes on Facebook. So share our podcast, please, so we can get to 3,000. That's awesome.
We appreciate you.
We love you. Bye.
Bye.